They say some places don't fade. They are erased. No ruins, no warning, no survivors who can fully explain what happened. This is the story of a town that went to sleep and was never seen again. In the mountains of the Pacific Northwest, there once stood a quiet mining town called Gray Hollow. It didn't appear on most maps. Even locals struggled to remember it clearly. But in 2006, something happened there that still has no official explanation. Gray Hollow was built in the 1940s around a copper mine. At its peak, nearly 900 people lived there. Families, children, store owners, teachers. By 2005, the mine was nearly empty. Most residents had moved away. Only 57 people remained. They lived quietly. Too quietly, some said. No tourists, no visitors, no internet presence. But in late November 2006, strange things began to happen. Phone calls dropped without reason. Radio signals were filled with static. The sky over the town seemed wrong. Several hikers later reported that when they looked toward Gray Hollow at night, the town lights flickered like they were underwater. One man described the sound as a low humming coming from the mountain itself. Then came December 3rd, 2006. Snow had begun falling early that evening. The temperature dropped below freezing. Residents went to bed as usual. The next morning, a supply truck arrived, but there was no one to receive it. No cars on the road, no footprints in the snow. Every house was unlocked. Food was still on tables. TVS were left on. But every single person was gone. Not one body, not one sign of struggle. Just absence. The sheriff's department searched for weeks. No graves, no tracks leaving town, no vehicles missing. Officially, the case was labeled mass relocation, unknown cause. But locals still whisper a different truth. They say Gray Hollow never disappeared. They say it was taken. But no one wanted to believe them. The nearest town was almost 40 miles away. Most people there had never even heard of Gray Hollow. It was one of those places that felt forgotten long before it was gone. Yet in the final months of 2006, strange reports began to surface. The town's only store owner, Martha Wells, told a state inspector that customers were complaining about headaches and nosebleeds. She said people felt dizzy for no reason. Some claimed they heard a faint ringing in their ears whenever they walked near the old mine. At first, officials blamed chemical leaks, but tests showed nothing. Still, the feeling in town changed. Neighbors stopped talking to each other. Children refused to sleep alone. Dogs howled through the night for no visible reason. One family packed up and left in October. They never explained why. Then the phone lines started failing. Calls would cut off mid-sentence. Voices on the radio sounded delayed, as if coming from far away, even when they were local. One night, a schoolteacher named Ellen Price woke up to find all the clocks in her house stopped at 2:14 a.m. The next morning, they were working again. No explanation. As winter approached, the town felt heavier. Several residents later reported seeing shadows moving between buildings at night. Not people, not animals, just tall, thin shapes that vanished when approached. The mayor, Robert Hale, tried to calm everyone. He told them they were stressed, tired, imagining things. But he privately requested federal assistance. The response never came. December 3rd arrived quietly. There were no storms, no warnings, just a heavy stillness. At 11:48 p.m., power flickered across town. Some residents claimed the air felt charged, like before lightning. At exactly 2:14 a.m., every clock in Gray Hollow stopped. The same time Ellen Price had experienced weeks earlier. Several people later reported hearing a deep, distant sound, like a giant engine turning beneath the ground. Then, nothing. No screams, no alarms, no fires, just silence. When the supply truck arrived at 8:30 a.m., the driver found something he would never forget. Every door was open. Beds were warm. Coffee cups were half full. Children's toys lay in the street. But there were no people. The sheriff called state police. Then the FBI search teams combed the forest. Dogs found nothing. There were no signs of violence, no blood, no graves. The mine was sealed. And yet, no bodies. Years later, leaked documents revealed something disturbing. Gray Hollow was never listed as missing. It was listed as relocated. No destination, no explanation, just one phrase. Event classified under environmental anomaly. No one has ever defined what that means. Locals near the mountains still report strange lights. Hikers hear a low hum. Some claim to see an empty town where Gray Hollow once stood, frozen in time. They say if you stand there long enough, you can hear voices calling your name. Gray Hollow is not on any map, but some say it still exists, somewhere just out of reach.